I reached out to some people on the team trying to get some stories, and we got a couple, but the unfortunate part was everyone was like, I don't know if we can talk about that on the podcast.
Bingo.
Well, here we are. You guys are in for a treat. I mean, this is podcast number 4 of Mr. Rubio Used to Run, the Running Warehouse podcast. And if you want to do an introduction of our guest, this is Connor, by the way. I'm Joe Rubio.
Yeah, I mean,
this
this
cheese.
We had to start out big today because
with our first special guest.
Everyone knows him as biggest name in American track and field, best hair in American track and field.
How about your mom's favorite runner?
Your mom's favorite
You're
runner.
making me blush.
We got Craig Engels.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. My friends all call me special, too. So I really appreciate you guys.
Oh, man.
Good.
Well, I mean, look, we had to have you on today. There's a lot of fun stuff we want to talk about, but before we get into, like, the crazy stuff, let's just take a little bit of a rewind. You're a pro runner, but where did it all start? Did this all start in high school? Were you always the phenom that you were today?
Yeah, I started running in high school, but I guess I got kind of good in high school too, but yeah, I don't know. God, I don't know where to start.
Freshman year?
No.
Before that?
No.
No. Did Chris get you out?
My high school coach, his name is Chris Catton. He has an online coaching business now named Run CCG.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
But he was actually at my high school.
Uh-huh.
So he ran for Wake Forest University. And
So
I
he ran
went
for Goodrich?
I don't know his coach's name. Yeah.
Okay.
But he somehow got a teaching job at Ronald Reagan High School. It was like the redneck school where in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Okay.
It's actually in Pofftown.
Okay.
P-F-A-F-F.
Okay.
Yeah, Puffab. But yeah, so I was on the soccer team, and I was always getting in trouble.
Really?
So they would never put me on varsity.
Yeah.
You seem shocked.
Yeah, I'm effing shocked.
But yeah, so I think the end of my sophomore year, I was pissed I wasn't on varsity, but they were like, you've gotten in a fight this year, you pulled someone's pants down, and they're like, one more strike and you're done. And I think that day I mooned the coach out of the bus window.
I got the story right here from John Marsh. We know
John Marsh, yeah.
a guy.
You maybe didn't make it past your first couple of weeks on the team.
Well, I was golfing with John Marsh talking about you because apparently you and his son were pretty good friends in high school.
Oh, yeah, we still are.
And he had a lot of concerns about his son hanging out with you in high school.
As he should have.
Well, he sent me this what? He says, well, there's one about hiding in the bus during a run when he was a sophomore.
Well, look. Okay.
Your coach said, I found him and sent him home, but somehow by the grace of God or by our thin roster, I had mercy and let him back on the team.
That's pretty accurate.
Okay. Spot on.
Okay, but hear me out. The Marsh family is perfect.
Yeah.
If you know them, they're perfect. But yeah, they did not like their son hanging out with me. But yeah, so I got kicked off the soccer team, and I was like, shoot, I can't have my parents know like why I'm coming home from school early.
Yeah.
Because usually, like I had practice, I would get home at like 5 instead of 3. And then I was like, God, I guess I'll go over and join those other skinny idiots. And went out there and hated it. So that's why I was hiding on the activity bus. And one of those kids ratted me out and said, oh, that new guy is hiding on the bus. Coach Catton comes on the bus. He said, get out of the bus and go home. You're off the team. I'm like, shoot. Now I really have nothing to tell my parents. But I sat at home for about a week and was pretty bored and got a phone call from him. He's like, please come back.
Because I only got 2 kids out.
Yeah.
I need a third.
Yeah, they needed a top 5. And everyone else was out there driving their tractors and riding horses. But yeah, so
You were raised by Quakers? Is that
no, we were in the redneck part of town. But yeah, it turned out great. Chris was like, or I call him Catton. He was one of the best coaches I've ever had to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Ryan Van Hoy, but Catton would keep it fun.
Yeah.
He came with good energy and he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I got so lucky, kinda. I mean, I hated running, so I was kind of lucky, kind of unlucky. But yeah, he was like, you could maybe get into college if you keep this up. I was like, all right. And then ended up doing really well in high school.
Would you run the mile?
I ran 4:03.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was back before
That
Super
was,
Shoes.
yeah, I know. That was when
BC.
403 was
That's maybe like a
legit.
352 now.
Yeah, Sonia O'Sullivan calls it BC.
Yeah.
Before carbon.
Before carbon. Exactly. And then you went to, what, NC State?
I did, yeah. I went to NC State for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And was injured on and off. That was pretty self-deprecating or my fault. But then...
Training too hard or drinking too much or...
I actually didn't party too hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which I was going through some weird phases.
Yeah.
I went through a super religious phase, joined a cult. That story for another day.
Okay. That would be podcast number 2.
That was
Craig.
number 2. It was I was a shell of myself. But I was injured. I got Tommy John surgery on my elbow from getting in a mountain biking crash.
Okay.
And then at NC State, they ran like 6-minute pace on pavement every day. So I was trying to come back from this injury and got injured with my hips, and then would try and come back, and it was just like a nonstop. And I ran 149 in high school in the 800, and their school record was 150. So I was like, come on, like 2.5 years later, never broke 150.
Jeez.
And in the first semester of Van Hoy, I ran 146. So I was like, all right, I still got it.
Yeah.
So were you planning on quitting and Van Hoy brought you back? What was that transition over to Ole Miss?
Oh yeah, I was done. I was gonna join my friends at Appalachian State, maybe join a frat, smoke some weed. But yeah, that's it. That would have been a funny life path to see where I would be now. But yeah, so my high school coach, Chris Catton, was friends with Ryan Van Hoy. They're both 35 years old, 40 years old.
And Van Hoy's from North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Van Hoy was my camp counselor that junior year, the first year I ran.
Yeah.
And there's funny stories from that where like I was obsessed with air horns for some reason and pranking people. So my parents checked my bag before I went to camp.
Yeah.
And I was smart, thought ahead.
Hide those air horns.
I had shipped one to camp. And a package comes to camp midway through this, 4-day camp. And Van Hoy comes in, he's like, why do you have a package? I was like, oh, it's like a care package from my parents. He's like, no, it's not. Confiscates my air horn. So that was my intro to Van Hoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
What's there to do in Oxford, Mississippi? No, seriously, is it a good college town? Is it? I've never been there, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of drinking to do to be done. But I really just like the lawlessness of it.
Yeah.
It was just this place that I had never. Like when you imagine Mississippi, I don't know what to imagine. Like,
I imagine not a whole ton of good stuff.
yeah, just fields of agriculture,
Right.
But I went on my visit, and it's like this Oxford, Mississippi is like this little haven in Mississippi, which is a very poor state, which we can talk about later. I'd love to be the governor of Mississippi one day, but.
I think there's potential. Look at that hair. I can see the mugshot.
But yeah, it was like shocking how beautiful it was.
Right.
It reminded me a lot of home. I'm from North Carolina.
Yeah.
So we would go to this lake all the time. It was called Lake Sardis. In the winters, they would dry it up, and people would go mudding and shooting guns and having bonfires. And in the summer, there was a lake there. So that was where I spent a lot of time. We just hung out with the team a lot.
Yeah.
People on the team would go hunting. It was a good time.
That's pretty sweet.
Very different, yeah.
That does not happen here at Cal Poly.
No, it doesn't.
A little different.
There's a lot of ag here, though.
That's true.
There is. And then you ended up going what? Well, your team at Ole Miss was really good.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, seriously.
Which teammate? I mean, there's a lot of good guys. in
No,
Ole
but
Miss.
just given, I don't know the whole history, but the fact that Van Hoy's known primarily as a middle distance guy, and you guys ran cross really well.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah. No, I mean he knows the stuff.
He does, yeah. He definitely used us as a learning curve at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Like there was one year where we had a team that was ranked 5th preseason.
Yeah.
For cross, and he was giving us these hard workouts because he was like, we need to live up to this hype, We would be doing like 8-mile tempos. Guys would be ending it at like 4:40 pace, and everyone burned themselves out.
Yeah.
So the next year he's like, all right, we're doing like 4-mile, 5-mile tempos on the track, and we got 5th.
Yeah.
We were ranked 31st that year and got 5th. We did the
flipped
opposite.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get done with Ole Miss, and then what? Oregon Project?
Oregon Project.
Yeah.
What was the deciding factor on Oregon Project? Because obviously they were the team at the time, but what set you on them? I'm guessing you had a lot of offers.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like,
No, seriously.
Yeah, when you're a 21-year-old kid, you're like, this is sick. And I didn't really know much about pro running. I don't think I got an Instagram till senior year of college, so I hadn't followed any pro runners. Yeah. And Van Hoy was like, dude, this is the team. He's like, I don't know how you got this call because they're all very serious, but take it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, he was like my mentor for all that.
Yeah.
He had heard about some of the stuff going on, like the drama or whatever. Yeah. But he was like, you'll be fine. You're coached by Pete Julian. You won't be associated, which was wrong. Right. But yeah, so it was cool. My deciding factor though was actually that I was going to train with Centro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had just won gold, and he was one of the only pro runners I did know.
Yeah.
So I was stoked. Yeah. And I never trained with him.
Really?
And now we're rivals.
Okay, so let's move on to the rivals, because I feel like we've talked about track is missing a lot of rivals. There's been talks of maybe at a point Josh Kerr was a rival. I think maybe that's moved on, because now it seems like there's the Josh Kerr-Jakob face-off.
Yeah.
Do you have a rival currently?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to have rivals in this sport.
Yeah.
Because you race 10 times a season and you could go 50-50. Yeah. But I mean, it was Centro, but now both of us are getting our asses kicked by Yard and Cole, and everyone else. Yeah. But yeah, in college I was rivals with Kerr. And now he won Worlds. God, it's crazy. Yeah, there was someone else that I was rivals with at one point that is now killing it.
Yeah, I always thought that was what's missing in track to make it popular in the United States. It's just consistent rivalries, people racing each other.
Yeah,
that you can count on. Because if my kid, not that my kid's a Steph Curry fan, but if either one of them was, I could look at the Warrior schedule a year out, and he's going to be playing here, and I could get tickets in a hotel, and he would be playing most likely, right?
Yeah.
Track, you can't do that. And so the only time you get people that show up is at Olympic trials or the Olympics or the Worlds and stuff like that. But it's hard to build a sport on that.
Yeah, I mean, it would be fun to have rivals, if we did have storytelling, or if we were on ESPN.
Yeah.
But if I just have a rivalry with Centro that's for our 100 people that follow us on Let's Run,
right?
It's just kind of weird. Yeah. And we're both so scrawny, and we're wearing barely any clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess boxers don't wear any clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we could ever get a little celebrity boxing match with some runners? Is that a thing that could happen?
Oh yeah, I'm not going up against Kerr though.
Dude, he's jacked.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as I understand, track and field, how much do you get if you win the World Championships or Diamond League, I should say?
I thought it was
prize
50.
money. It's is it 50?
It used to be 50.
Okay.
$50.
Yeah, $50.
But the sport revolves primarily around not so much prize money, but appearance money.
Right.
A lot of it.
And contractual money, yeah.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So it's you can avoid people.
Yeah.
Not that you would avoid people, but some of the
and sometimes there's an incentive to avoid people.
Right.
True, honestly, yeah. Wait, what about back in your day? Did you have a rival?
Who did I have? Well, I mean, I did, but they always beat me.
It was in my head.
Exactly.
In my head,
we had guys I'm sure you have guys like this, but this guy Carmelo Rios, he passed away last year, but he made the Olympics in steeplechase in '84, and he trained in San Luis Obispo, and he'd go to road races and say, "Hey Connor, what are you gonna do with your second place prize today?" Just stuff like that. Just trash the whole time. And he'd be in a race, and he'd say, "You need some extra oxygen? Because I got plenty."
Dude, I love that.
Just trash talking, right?
And he was a legend. I feel like you talk to anyone 70s, 80s, Carmelo was the guy.
Well, him
a
and
rock
Ivan,
star.
him and Ivan raced each other all the time.
Go out all night and come back and win the race.
Yeah, he was pretty good about stuff, but yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're here in SLO. There's obviously a big transition from Mississippi. What what did you like? I know we talked when you guys came and visited with UAC, and you were liking the area. What set you on SLO, and why you're here now?
So right after Ole Miss, Oxford, Mississippi, I went to Portland, Oregon for 4 or 5 years. And I loved it. Like, I had a real good friend group and everything, but we always did winter camps because it started raining all the time. God, it was miserable. But yeah, so we used to do Phoenix, and then we were tired of Phoenix and came here because Jordan Hasse had a couple houses and stuff. But it was awesome. And then that summer, I was like debating leaving because I had no training partners, and Pete, my coach, he wasn't too present.
Yeah.
I probably saw him 50 times a year. And a lot of pros are totally fine with that. They have like their husband, wives, or whatever.
Right. You got a dog.
I got a dog. Now it's my girlfriend's dog. I needed more support.
Yeah.
Like, I'm intrinsically motivated, but I need some extrinsic motivation a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did the camp here, and that summer Van Hoy was like, "How'd you like SLO?" I was like, "Why?" It was awesome. He's like, "I just got the job offer." This is before, like, I think you knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, I could move down there. And I was
Not that bad.
I was just waiting for him to be like, "Come down," and then he finally did. I was like, "All right, I'll come." But it took me a few months to like say goodbye to my friends and quit the
for
team
sure.
and stuff. But yeah, so I like it here, man.
Yeah. So you're running for Nike?
I'm
Is that
still
it?
running for Nike.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're not Union or Oregon Project or anything like that. Just straight up Nike?
Straight Nike.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was a little different. So I'm on my second Nike contract.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess kind of signed to Union. But I don't know. So I just had to talk to Nike and be like, hey, like Van Hoy's going to give me a better career.
Right.
Than what I could be Nike Union the rest of my career if you want, but I'm not going to run well.
Yeah.
So give me a chance. And they were like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Right. Do you find the pressure of having a contract is a big deal or not that big a deal?
I'm grateful to say no.
Yeah.
Like if that, yeah, I mean, like some people don't. Some people really care about money, and some people like need money. Like I could live on $1,000 a year.
I know you're looking at living in a lot in a
Yeah.
mobile home or something like that, or
you know.
whatever the hell you're. Didn't you buy an RV out of college?
I bought one when I was in NC State
Yeah.
still, and then I bought one right out of college, and then bought 5 more. And
You still got them?
I have 3 right now.
When's the RV part coming?
That would be nice in Los Osos. Huh?
Yeah. Really badass.
All right. All right. Okay, so I met you when you came and visited with Union
Yeah.
for the first time, but I want to go back to the first time you met Joe. And I believe, was it in Oregon?
It was at the Wild Duck in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if
Alright.
you remember that.
Of course I remember.
I know.
Go into
That's
some
what, that's
detail,
what you
Joe.
want to do. You want to shake hands after taking a leak at the Wild Duck.
Like, tell me where to stop.
The rest is history.
The rest is history. Exactly.
I do remember meeting Joe. I 100% remember it.
Yeah.
You don't forget Joe. He's a
You
character.
can.
No. It was funny. Yeah, I think I had my pants down to my ankles, maybe.
Yeah, you did.
A lot of times after a beer or two, I've been known to.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
you liking it around here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know when I'm done running if
Uh-huh.
like how long I would stay here, just because like I do want to travel the world
Yeah.
and stuff. But this is definitely a good
But
home.
you do travel the
home base.
world. Every time I see your freaking Instagram, you're like pacing people in Berlin or wherever the hell you're at. You're all over the place.
Yeah. That's maybe why I'm not a 330 guy.
Yeah.
Or sub 330, because like I like to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
But Van Hoy's like, all right, when you come here, you got to stop traveling as much. But Nike, I still have obligations with Nike, the one you're talking about. Nike flew me out. But I've had to say no to a lot of stuff this year.
Yeah.
And this is like
Well,
the
that's crazy.
first time in my life. Yeah, I've said no to a couple weddings, bachelor party, boys trips, golf trips.
I remember we were going to go golfing, but you couldn't. You were doing a commercial down in L.A. or something.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the RV.
Uh,
No, that wasn't the RV. What was it?
Yeah, there was a commercial. I can't remember exactly, but I mean, he's got so many commercial
Come
shoots.
on,
Mr.
guys.
Hollywood over here.
Where are those photos at?
Okay, should we move to the
Yeah,
next
let's move
segment?
it,
So we got a couple segments on the show, but we got a new one for you this week because we got to do something special. So we need a little bit more context to a couple photos that we have here. So photo number 1 What is going on here?
She is beautiful. Oh my gosh, show that to the camera.
Yeah.
My goodness. That is me and
I
my
think that's
girlfriend.
you, right?
That's Barbie and Ken if I've ever seen it.
Okay. And did you see Oppenheimer afterwards?
I walked through downtown slow in that outfit, and I don't really care what people think, but I cared. I was like, this is tough.
I mean, you had me convinced. All right. Number 2. So I've heard a little bit that you might like the blackjack table. What do we have going on here?
I'm a craps guy.
Oh, you're a craps guy.
This
Okay.
is one of my first months in Portland. I went out that night to go to the casino with Centro and my buddy from England, and Centro won like 10 grand.
I've heard Centro is a beast in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know his dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. His dad's a trip, man.
Yeah.
Counting cards.
The mic would have to be.
Yeah, I know. Way out there.
Did you? How much money did you leave the night with?
Shoot, I don't know, but I met a girl I dated for a while that night.
Okay.
I don't know if it was Centro's money or my beautiful jacket I got on.
I mean, the jacket can't hurt. All right. Number 3. Back to maybe some celebrity boxing.
Oh yeah, Donovan just rocking me.
Is he a beast?
Yeah, I mean he's a freak. Yeah, we were just sparring. Like NBC came to film one of my lifts.
Yeah.
And we were just messing around, and then all of a sudden Donovan just. I'm supposed to be like,
Craig's out the rest of the season.
How's Donovan doing?
He's doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get him on the podcast. He's gonna. He's got some news to release, but hopefully he'll be coming to some training camps here.
Oh, good.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then
You're a nice guy.
he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
When
the
we
man.
came and did a little video shoot with you guys,
Uh-huh.
there was just word on the track. They're like, "Is it a little hot out here on the track?" And Donovan's just flying by. I'm like,
Well, I saw
Yeah.
that guy do what the hell was the
"Oh,
workout?
dude,
It was,
he flew that day."
Like 2 or 3 sets of 300, 200, 100. And it was like he got done, and there's so much tartan on the back of his back. He was running so freaking.
Yeah.
Man, it was good.
And some of the people walking by were like, "You don't understand what is going
know,
on
it's
this track
beautiful.
right now."
Yeah,
It's beautiful. Like no one ever gets to watch Floyd Mayweather train. Like he's, he's.
I know. He's just a specimen, but his speed is like you go. "Wait, that's really fast."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we might see a world record. It could happen. Like
Yeah. I hope so. I mean, like if he can get back to healthy, I think he's had 3 surgeries on his Achilles now.
Yeah.
that's tough.
And but he'll be back. Like he's still got the champion mindset when I talk to him.
Good.
Which is crazy. Like it'd be
Yeah.
hard for anyone to do that.
Yeah,
Like Tiger Woods did it,
right.
Yeah.
And like Donovan.
Yeah. All right. Last picture.
That might be when I was in LA.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
So how did you get the title, your mother's favorite runner? Where did this come from?
I don't know.
Lore.
It was just silly. I just put it on there. Like I put it on there to be silly, and then every once in a while I'd feel real immature and just delete it. And then I was like, whatever.
It worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
So I'm sure maybe some mothers come to you at the track meets. I know we were just at the cross country meet. The amount of fans, there's no other track and field athlete that has the crazy high school, college kids that just swarm. Has that always been a thing? Have you ever had anything so wild where you're like, okay, that was maybe a little too crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I mean, I have a horrible memory, but there's times where I'm just like, this is crazy. I think like some kids had me sign like toilet paper one time. I'm like, who's this used? But yeah, kids are funny. Like I'd way rather than be crazy and like ask me for some silly stuff than be awkward and just ask for a selfie.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is like I'm so normal. Like I'm just like a bro.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't a runner, they'd be like, oh, there's another frat bro, you know? So it's weird that people like look up to me, and like I've gotten in trouble my whole life. Like I don't think people should look up to me. But like for some reason people are like, yep. I like this guy.
Nice.
So I don't know if you know this about me, but have you ever heard of a Flowbee?
No.
So it's this device that you cut your hair with, and it hooks up to your vacuum. And it's a tube, and it has this thing that cut your hair.
I mean,
It has different
this
lengths.
might be the most innovative tool in haircutting
Hey,
history.
It's like Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
George Clooney uses
George
it.
Clooney uses one,
Yeah.
and I use one. So I haven't paid for a haircut since 2003.
And you got beautiful
I
hair.
have beautiful hair.
Beautiful.
But what I was going to see is at some point in the future, I bring this freaking Floby thing in here and we cut our hair.
All right, I'm in.
Okay, he's in.
Are we going to see the return of the mullet anytime soon, or was that a phase of your life that you've moved past?
It's just funny. I did it to be funny, but now people expect it. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll go bald. As soon as people start expecting things from me, that's when I
That's where you draw the line.
shift.
Do you ever go back to Ole Miss? Or
I have a house there. Yeah.
oh, you do?
Yeah. So I went to college for 5 years, and I finished in 4.5.
Okay.
And I was like, I can't go on as an adult with a theater degree.
Is that what you had?
Well, so at NC State, I was studying renewable energy, which I really, really like.
Yeah.
And when I transferred to Ole Miss, there was nothing of the sort. Nothing. Closest thing they had was petroleum, like engineering. I'm like, it's about the opposite. So I chose this major called General Studies, where
Okay.
you choose 3 minors. And at NC State, I was like gonna quit running, so I had just been taking classes, like 19 hours of some. You guys do trimesters here. I don't know how it works, but I was taking so much that I was like almost done with school. And so I got to Ole Miss and like transferred all my credits, and they were like, "Well, you got to get like the way General Studies works is you choose 3 minors. They're like, you're done with your environmental studies minor, you're almost done with your business minor, and now you get to choose one more." I'm like, so theater, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I had to do like some more general classes, but I did my theater classes and finished up school with General Studies, and I'm like, shoot. This means nothing. I'm like, this is a high school diploma. So I started an MBA, and you have 5 years to finish an MBA, and it was supposed to be a 1-year program. So for the next 4 years, I was living in Portland. I take a class here and there online, and it came around after 2021, after the Olympic trials, where they're like, you have 1 more semester to finish your degree, and you have 12 credits left. So 4 classes. I'm like, all right. I'm coming home. So I went back to Ole Miss and trained with the boys for a semester.
Yeah.
And rent was gonna be so expensive because of football games.
Yeah.
Just to like Airbnb or I'd have to rent a house for a year and furnish it, that I was like, I'll just buy a house. It's so cheap there. And now I bought a house and I rent it out for football games.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so it's sweet.
Yeah. Ole Miss is the SEC. I mean, is that a dumb question? But
SEC, yeah.
that's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard things
yeah.
get pretty crazy there at some of the games. The frats will come out. Is that?
No, I mean, these are the kind of things where people buy condos and they fly in their Learjets right on the way. I'm not making this stuff up. I mean, it's serious business.
They have so much money in the SEC.
Yeah, and you're talking, well, I mean, two-time defending champion. You got Georgia, you got Ole Miss, you got what?
LSU,
LSU.
Auburn, Alabama.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, some serious
Tennessee, Kentucky. Yeah.
pro football teams.
Yeah. And then, Mississippi's cool. Like, it wasn't a cross-country. SEC wasn't a cross-country thing besides Arkansas.
Right.
But now it's, like, pretty good.
Yeah,
you got
it's decent.
Tennessee.
Right.
Arkansas, Ole Miss. Like, it's a good conference.
Yeah, I've known a bunch of guys that went to Arkansas. Back when
Arkansas is
McDonald was
legendary.
coaching there.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine, I think he just retired, Lance Harder.
Yeah,
He's a women's coach there. So he used to be at Cal Poly.
Yeah.
So I saw him in the parking lot here a couple weeks ago.
Shopping for some shoes? Getting some
No, he was
Hokas?
getting sunglasses because he owns timeshares out in Avila. So he was out here with his kids and grandkids and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool. I mean, he won he didn't. His teams won the Triple Crown. Cross, indoors, and outdoors all the same year.
Yeah, nationals.
Yeah, that's kind of a deal.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
There's some legends from SLO. The Oregon State coach.
Yeah.
Louis
Quintana,
That's my daughter's coach.
Yeah.
So I coached him for a while when he got out of Villanova. He's from Napomo.
Napomo.
And he went to Roy Grande High School.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. Super nice guy.
I mean, there's a lot of legends here in town that, like, when you get in town, you meet them all, but, like, you don't necessarily know them outside of SLO, but they were legends at the time.
You got Joe Rubio. Are you
Joe
kidding me?
Rubio.
Yeah, of course. That was
Ivan
it.
Huff.
But, you got
Mondo
Huff.
Securos.
Right. And then
Yeah.
also, like, at the cross-country meet, like Gray Kraft.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Right. He just retired as a head coach at Arizona State. He owns a house in town.
Really?
Yeah, so he was at the meet.
That's crazy.
And then like Cap, you get Capriotti, right? He's
Miller.
here like every other week. Miller's here all the time.
Uh-huh.
You know, I don't know if you know the story of Joe Fabris.
Yeah.
So Fabris is a sub 4 miler, Cal Poly grad.
Yeah.
He goes to work for this might be a little bit off.
Company.
Yeah, Microsoft. He's like employee number 7 or something like this. So he cashes out when he's in his 40s, early 40s, and his office mate is an engineer at Microsoft. He cashes out, and his dream in life is to make the Pro Bowlers Tour. He can't do it for a couple of years, so he buys the Pro Bowlers Tour for like $1 million.
Joe did.
No, his partner. But his partner is an engineer, and he contacts Joe. He goes, "What the hell do I do with this thing? I mean, I'm an engineer. You're a sales guy." And he says, "Let me talk to my old coach, Steve Miller, who just retired from Nike. He was in charge of the Barcelona Olympics, marketing for Nike." So he connected him. So Steve Miller became the head of the Pro Bowlers Tour. And he do stuff like, Craig, you're a good guy. Connor, you're a bad guy. And you're going to go to these events. And you say, I don't want to do that. I guess you don't want to be in the Pro Bowlers Tour, do you? So he set up these head-to-head matches, and he sold it to ESPN. So they can advertise the fact that you guys are going up against each other on Sunday, right? And guarantee it. So it was, yeah. So he did that.
And it took off.
It took off, yeah.
So it went from $1 million
To $1 bazillion.
That's crazy.
So yeah, Fab hooked up that whole thing. So and now Miller's in charge of the Andre Agassi Foundation out of Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I met someone else this weekend at the cross country meet that was number 70, sub 4 or something.
That was Mark Schilling. He was 58.
58.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he went to, in 1972, he was a junior, just won the California State meet, and his teammate was Central Senior.
Oh, yeah?
So he told me, we were having a beer the other day after that race, the Oktoberfest race.
Right.
And he said that Central Senior had called him that week, just out of the blue.
Yeah.
Showing what the, you know how Central Senior is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. How's your fitness?
Me?
Yeah.
All right. These college kids are kicking my ass, man.
Really?
Yeah, Aiden's real fit. Davis.
Aiden is good.
Yeah.
I officially coined him the face of Cal Poly track and field. So, I mean, dude, he's killing it.
He is. He's a 146 guy.
And they got second in the conference behind Davis.
Yeah.
In the cross country.
And we did an 8-mile tempo this morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll probably stop at 7. Van Hoy's like, how far are you going? I said 7. And then I watched Aiden in the workout. I'm like, all right, I need to go 8. This kid's going to beat me at USA's. So I went 8.
And the kid is super nice and he's super smart.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot what kind of engineering he is. But that's the thing with all those Cal Poly kids. They're just, what's Davis getting his degree in? He's getting a master's in something stupid.
He's engineering.
Yeah,
right?
he's smart as hell, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all nice kids and they're just, I mean, I was introducing Davis to somebody. They said, I said, he's good. They go, better than you? I go, oh, please. It's not even close.
Yeah. Well, it shows Van Hoy's got this track record of not only making great middle distance 800 milers, but they do well in cross country too. I mean,
Well, that's the thing. It's strength based stuff.
Right.
And we'll get Ryan in here to talk about training. He's the guy we're going to do X's and O's with, like go in the weeds and all this.
That's the
800,
splits,
1500,
the numbers.
right? Splits, and all that philosophy and all that
with
crap.
me, you're like left foot in front of right.
Yeah, but he had 3 people at the world champion, former athletes, right? At the world championships, he had
Cinto,
Johnny,
Mario.
yeah, Mario,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he did. Should have had 4.
Is that the plan?
Oh, yeah.
Paris?
Yeah. I mean, the plan was to move here and train for Worlds for Budapest, but had Achilles issues for 3 freaking months and then got training April 1st.
Right.
Yeah.
But he still ran pretty well considering everything. I thought he did.
Decent, yeah.
It's just he didn't have any background.
Yeah, for missing 3 months, it was okay.
Yeah.
336. But when the guys in the yards running 329, 7 seconds, that's a half of that's more than half of a home straight.
I know. Nagoose is on the loose.
Yeah.
That guy lit it up.
Yeah. I'd love to know how he's staying healthy, man.
Yeah.
Went from getting hurt in college, he was running less, lifting less. It wasn't at altitude, and now he's healthy. Running more, lifting more.
Right. I don't know.
That's the secret. He needs to tell the kids that so that everyone can stay healthy.
That's the big part of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't stay healthy, then it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to run.
Exactly.
got to do that consistency thing.
Right.
So
And you're on the right trajectory now. Is it feeling pretty good?
Yeah, I've had plantar issues for like a year or more now.
Yeah.
It just always kind of lingers.
Yeah, Dr. Mondo has been such a good resource in town.
yeah,
So he's gonna have me go get shockwave therapy.
that's
Nice.
It's non-invasive.
Yeah.
and it works. It hurts like hell, but it
Does
works.
it?
Yeah,
Good. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah. But the thing is, someone's not cutting on your foot,
Right.
Yeah, that's much better.
right? So we've had a few athletes do that.
Yeah.
This was early '90s. There's one person who did it, a guy in Seal Beach, and he's the orthopedics guy for the LA Lakers. So there's one guy in the state that would do it. Now a lot of people do it. So I'm sure I'm all up at Stanford.
Oh yeah. They're like a $30,000 machine.
Yeah, well, you don't want to have to buy the thing. But
Yeah, I know.
yeah, exactly. Well, good luck with that. That should,
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I can run through it all, but it just makes running less enjoyable. Like we all know pain.
Yeah, I know. It's just you get up in the morning, it's just like
Yeah.
running hurts, and then you just don't need anything else more painful to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about like what are they doing to recover, run these faster times, and I think the elephant in the room of what's been maybe helping a little bit with times is super shoes. We've seen those on the marathon, now on the track, but let's take a little rewind, maybe 10, 15 years back before the super shoes. Our buyer in the building, Eric, he brings a shoe every week that we talk about, and this week we had to bring a very special shoe. I don't know if it's ever been seen in public. This is a first time.
It's I don't know what you call it. Unveiling.
Yes.
Okay.
And where'd we get it?
We got this
No, who did we get it from?
15 years ago off eBay illegally. Some Nike employee threw it up and I snatched it up.
Really?
So,
Are you just scouring eBay every
oh
day?
yeah, dude. And College Connor. Oh yeah.
Damn.
So this is
Like some lingerie I'd wear on a Friday night.
This is a 2007 labeled Jasari 3. So Jasari, the famous track spike.
Right. That's what Daniel Coleman ran his 720 3000 in.
Yeah, and I believe this ended up being the Matumbo. You can see that
Yeah.
famous horseshoe plate,
No,
but
no carbon plate.
no carbon plate.
Still BC, baby.
And you feel this upper. I mean, have you ever seen an upper that... Yeah, it was warm.
Hey, never warm.
It was. I can't promise. No. No, if you can see Joe's spike, actually, it was test worn, and someone blew out of it. You can see right
yeah,
here.
the Jasari, that's what Bob Kennedy ran,
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
sweet.
So a really cool spike, and I mean, this was before the super foams, the carbon plates, and what do you call this era, Craig?
BC.
Before carbon.
That's that era right there.
So yeah, I mean, are shoes on your radar? Is that something, or do you just kind of
Whatever they send
whatever
you.
they send you, you wear?
For a while, I didn't care about the carbon plates and stuff.
Right.
Because Pete didn't. Yeah, my coach at Oregon Project was like, these carbon plates are just going to get people injured. And to be fair, like all of the Bowerman people were having Achilles surgeries.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I believed it. But I don't know if it was, I don't think it was the shoes. I think it was just,
Yeah. I think if you run them all the time, there's an issue there.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but so I was wearing the Streak LT. LT.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For until like 2 years ago. And then I went and did that semester at Ole Miss to finish my master's degree, and Van Hoy's like, why are you still wearing these? Like, these kids are going to kick your ass. And everyone was getting so much better. So I'm in them now, and I'm pretty particular, but I'm an idiot. When I first got to Nike, they like laser measured my feet. They did all these things for like incoming athletes, and they were like, you're perfectly size 10, you know? And so the rest of the time, I just thought I was size 10. Yeah. And I had a race this summer in Chattanooga, and we had to go pick up our bibs in a running shop. I should have come to Running Warehouse, but they had that metal thing you measure your feet with.
Yeah.
Like where the
Yeah, yeah.
sole is up.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I'm bored. I measure my foot, and I'm like, 11. Oh, shit. And the guy comes over. He's like, "You need help?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so. I think your metal's broken." And he's like, "No, it's not." So he measures my feet, and he says, "You are supposed to be wearing size 11 and a half."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I've been having foot problems for like 2 years." And I think I was wearing size 10s. So I don't know if anyone's listening that needs to know this, but go check your foot size at Running Warehouse or at the store in Chattanooga. But yeah, I mean, now I'm like sizing up. I've tried 10.5s and 11s, and I think 10.5 to 11 is my sweet spot. But I really like the next percent 3s or 2s. Yeah, they're so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. If you've never run before and you put these shoes on, you'll be like, I should maybe try out for Nike's Pro Team.
Nice.
No, these shoes are. It's hard to explain because they're not good to walk in. They're not good to stand in. But when you're running fast, whatever your fast is, I mean, you could be looking at a 5-hour marathon for a PR,
right?
But whatever your fast is, it makes running faster easier.
Yeah,
it just does.
Yeah,
and your legs feel better.
Right,
your legs feel better.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. The only thing is, I'm kind of like in Pete's camp about
foot strength.
Foot strength, right?
Yeah.
And so when you start seeing an uptick in lower leg injuries,
yeah.
Because the thing is that you grew up not having super shoes, so you have all these years of running without them, so your fit might be stronger. And then if you run occasionally in the super shoes, that's fine. But it's when you have a kid that's all they do is run exclusively in super shoes, it's just like, nah. Like I don't know that the Newberry Park kids run all the time in super shoes, but it seems like they might be the kind of kids that did that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I try and do sand drills after wearing, like this morning when I forgot to do them, now that we're talking about it. But I like to do.
You slept in too late.
Yeah. I like to do sand drills after wearing super shoes, just because then your feet get spread out and stuff.
Yeah, and also build inherent strength and things like that, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? Injury prevention. We're back to that.
Back to it.
We're back to that.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be curious to see how the foams keep progressing, and I imagine from what I've seen, they're continuing to get more responsive. So it'll be interesting to see if that will continue to take records down, if there's other factors at play.
Well, I think it's lightweight is the next thing.
Right.
I mean, the rebound on the shoes is pretty much played out.
Yeah.
Right? And geometries, there's only so much you can do. But, I mean, that new Adidas shoe, what's the name of that stupid?
Adios Evo Pro.
You got to bleep all this out for me. For my sponsor. Bleep this.
We'll leave it there. But
we will have that in, I think, January.
Yeah.
If you're interested in buying some.
Yeah. So maybe Nike.
Running Warehouse. Well,
maybe Nike's got to get us an exclusive on something crazy. Maybe you can throw some feelers down.
They gave you these, bro.
Yeah. Maybe get us Kipchoge's proto shoe.
That guy's nice.
Yeah. Have you met him before?
Kipchoge?
Yeah.
No.
I met him once at Prefontaine.
Really?
Yeah. Just a nice guy.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. But usually people that are really good are really nice. It's odd.
That's why there's no rivalries in our sport.
I know. Everyone's too nice.
He's like Gandhi, though.
I know. But I will tell you that when Ingebrigtsen got beat by Josh Kerr, I was very happy and screaming in the down the hall.
Dude, people in this building were like, "What is going on
down
down
with
there?"
Rubio? Why is he?
I love Jakob's cockiness, and he's so good for the sport. But it is nice to see them get beat.
Yeah, the last two, and the thing is that the last two guys that won the world championship, they grew up together on the same club, which is awesome, right?
Crazy.
Yeah,
think about that. That's insane.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff, though.
Well, I'm on the other side. I am a Jakob fan, and I feel like he's got that rock star mentality, and just like what I think makes a good athlete and character is you got like half the people that love you and half the people that hate you. So like you have that battling, and I don't know. I'm for him. So
yeah, I'm for him too, but not really. What do you get for us? He
happens to listen to this podcast.
Yes, yeah, all three people there listening to the podcast.
We'll have him on the show and let him explain himself.
Exactly. What kind of questions you got for us? Anything?
I mean, I'd like to talk about your outfit, Joe.
Oh.
that he wears that every day.
This is, just so you know.
Did you just get back from skiing?
So this is actually my old roommate and good friend, Mark Conover, who passed away, 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. I am storing a bunch of his warm-ups and stuff from when he ran the 88 Olympics.
Yeah.
So when we were starting this podcast, the people in the building said, the photographers and the video people said, we need you to be old school. That's me. And Connor to be new school. And so they said, we need you in an old school warm up. And so what I did was I had this stuff in the garage, Mark's old, warm ups there's stuff from Colombia and Australia and old Puma stuff that he had when he was sponsored by Puma and I was thinking, I think he's got a U.S. Olympic thing from '88, and so I texted his wife and I said, we're doing a photo shoot. Do you mind if I use his stuff? She says, yeah, cool. Thanks for asking. And I plan on giving his
and now you
kids,
haven't taken it off.
I haven't taken it off. So I go in this box. And I see this jacket, which I think is a jacket, but you know what it actually is?
Go ahead.
It's a jumpsuit.
Stand up. Give a little twirl.
He ran the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, it says United States of America and all that kind of stuff on it, but
That's so sweet.
It's badass.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like Evel Knievel.
Dude, that thing is
But it is
cool.
so freaking hot in this thing. I'm like sweating. It's crazy.
I feel like that needs to get brought back for the USA kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ralph Lauren would put like
A little bow or something.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Sweet.
Cool.
Hey, wait. What's your running story?
What's my running story?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been running now for 20 years. I've told this. I ran my first, one of my first races was a half marathon, maybe 5 or 6 races in at 9 years old.
What?
9 years old, ran a sub 2 in the half.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, back then that was like, oh, that's normal.
I was trying to grow armpit hair back then, brother.
At 8 years old?
Shoot, I don't know what I was doing.
Dude, you started early.
Playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I kept running, ran through high school, ran through college, poly, ran through with Joe with the Aggies. I've always been like very passionate about running. I just maybe didn't have the natural talent that maybe some of the other people in this building had. But, low 15-minute 5K guy.
Let's go.
Yeah, so, I'm competitive. I run with the big dogs. I just get dropped halfway through the workout.
Yeah. What's your most enjoyable race you've ever run?
Most enjoyable race.
And your best performance you've ever run?
Most enjoyable, back in my hometown in Palm Desert, we got the Tram Road Challenge. It's a 6K, straight up a hill. I think it's maybe 2,500 feet elevation gain from sea level up, and it's gnarly. It separates the boys from the men.
Dang.
And over the years, like legends, Gary Tuttle won
Yeah.
it one year, but
Didn't Ebner win it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Did you win it?
I've won it.
Let's
yeah.
go.
And I also one year they put a bunch of prize money for the 30th anniversary. I think I won $700 that year.
Wow.
So
That's
I
pretty
mean,
good.
maybe I am considered pro now because I got that bag. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, what do you consider your best race?
best race. Oh man, we had a local turkey trot. It's always like you're screwing around. You're like just messing around with your friends. But I showed up one year, and the course was short, but I broke 15, and I beat one of the top runners at. Oh man, he was one of the Oregon, maybe Oregon State.
Oh, really?
But like he had come out.
Steve Prefontaine?
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, pre came out for it. So it's always cool when you go to your hometown race and you beat some like hot shot that comes
Yeah.
in. So yeah,
That's cool.
and I think I won a free gym membership that day. So I'm just bringing in the.
You're at Planet Fitness?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Black card?
Yeah.
What about you? We actually do this with old guys. You just put out a time, your best time and your best race.
My most memorable is when I first started running. I used to like cry after races, dude.
Oh no.
It was so crazy going from like soccer and then running, and then so my senior year I got invited to an indoor race in Boston, an indoor mile. It's called the New Balance Grand Prix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was invited. I think
I think you're pretty good.
Well, my PR was like 4:15, but nowadays that's not great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I showed up there and I won, and I remember just standing in the hallway calling my parents, crying. They had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
They're like, "Did you break 7 minutes?"
Yeah. Parents then are parents now, right?
Yeah, they're like, "Are you safe?" And I don't know, but I was, it was pretty cool. But I think the most memorable was my senior year cross country. It was like the first good race I ever had. It was during cross country. There was a 2 mile at my high school track, and I ran 9:03 and won. And my dad ran onto the track crying. He still knew nothing about running, But he came on the track and was just so proud that like I did something. I'm like, cool. I never got this during soccer, and he was like, he played soccer in college, and he's a soccer coach, and he was so proud that it was like one of the most like memorable ones.
Well, yeah, it's cool when you do team sports, and there's aspects of individual performances there, but it's not the same as like track. It's you versus everyone, right? And when you do really well, it's cool.
Yeah.
But your dad didn't really understand when you started either.
he was just he kicked me out of the house and said start doing something. Right, get out of the effing house, right? And so I started running. Right. But I started getting decent when I was a junior, and I remember him taking me before my junior track season to, it was called the Instep, and it was the official Adidas store in Cupertino, I want to say, no, Saratoga. And all they sold was Adidas stuff. And I remember that year, John Walker broke 349, ran 349 the mile. So he broke 350, the first guy to ever do it. And he wore Adidas Spiders, which were green kangaroo skin spikes with black stripes. And I said, I want those. And my dad took me to the store. We were going to lunch or something. He said, let's stop in here. And he had him save me a pair. And he says, here you go.
Oh,
which was really awesome.
Yeah.
And then the next time I saw him at a meet it was a CCS cross country championships, and he brought him and this other guy, and they're smoking cigars. And I said, okay, well, and then the track championships, he's got my sister, and I'm sitting there, and you used to stretch before your races, and I'm sitting there stretching. I got like 30 minutes before the start of the race. He goes, you need a hot dog or something? Just stuff like
Some
that.
simple proteins.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you need more than cigars and hot dogs before your race?
But in my case, probably the most memorable race was a conference meet when I was a senior at Cal Poly, and I got second by 6 100ths in the 1500. So I ran a PR there. Mm-hmm. And I came back in the 5K, and I won by a lot. I killed it. And then I got done, and the two hottest gals on the team, Karen and Laura Hagan, both came up to me and gave me a hug and a kiss, and I go, winning's good.
Pete.
Winning's good.
That might be the best experience of your life.
Oh, it was pretty good.
Now they're fans of Craig.
Yeah, exactly. But what you call it? I think the best race I ever ran, it wasn't my fastest or anything, but I was trying to qualify for the trials in 96. So I ran this 95 CIM, Calendar National Marathon. Mm-hmm. And you know those races where you feel like dog crap from the get-go?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah. And so I was running with we had a huge group, 25 guys at 10 miles. They were trying to qualify. And then at 13, there was 2 of us. Mm-hmm. And John, I forget John's last name, but he's in Houston. And we're there, and we get to about 15 miles. He said, let's go. And I said, I can't. And I was on my own from 15 to the finish. And it was just every mile I had to run 5:20s. And I would just take 1 mile at a time. Just get one more. Get one more. And it wasn't until 24 that I realized I was going to make it. Uh-huh. So I ran 2:19:41. But it was, and you need to run 2:20. Oh. But it's one of those things you're just going, I don't know if you trust in the training or whatever. It's just like, just get another one. Just get another mile. Just get another one. Yeah. And it sucked. It was horrible. But I made it. Right?
That's me on a 4-mile tempo.
Yeah, 4-mile tempo, exactly.
It's me during my easy run.
Yeah. But I'm sure there's stuff that both of you guys have done that it didn't feel good, that maybe the time wasn't the greatest, but you feel proud about yourself for hanging in there and getting it done, getting the job done. That's a large part of it, too, is, when you're talking to people about running, like 80% of it's just get out the door and get it done.
Yeah.
It sucks for the most part, right?
Yeah.
But when it goes good, when it's good, it's really good.
Dude, when they throw that beer onto the track.
Yeah. Are you going to go into the beer mile at some point?
No. I can't chug.
No?
So Joe is a legendary beer mile coach. Do you know this about Joe?
Who? Brandon. I helped Brandon Shirk get 3rd at the World Championships.
Oh my gosh!
I can't really tell the whole story, but he
was a pacer, right?
No, he went to Cal Poly and he ran for me, and then afterwards. But the thing is that I I couldn't convince him to do the workout first. He wanted to drink first after work. So he had a
So
certain.
he was working on the chugging.
And he had a certain
He
number
had
of
that
beers that
diet.
was way more than what we've had here collectively by himself. And then he would
no.
go to the track
Oh no.
and do quarters. That's how he trained.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, and it worked. He ran 441.
Yeah, I think he hit the record at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, just a
Yeah,
freak.
but the guy was a beast.
Oh.
So when he would work out, like at Cuesta, they used to have these giant tires and with metal things in the middle, for like tractors. And when he's having a bad workout, he'd just go over and start tossing them, like lifting them up and cussing, and then go do pull-ups and push-ups when he's having a bad workout. Just stuff like that, right? It's just like,
What's this guy doing now?
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh,
he's
he at Conover's, what you call it?
Yeah.
He raced Ben Bruce.
He did race Ben Bruce.
No, tell the story. I mean,
we
we were doing like a victory lap for Mark.
yeah, it was more of a celebration. You know,
Walking,
we walk it.
jogging. But him and Ben Bruce started racing.
And do you know Ben Bruce?
Yeah.
Real competitive guy. Shirk wasn't going to let him take the win. So 200 meters, they start mobbing, just full force.
Like we're walking and
Yeah, yeah. And we're like, who are those
About
guys?
to lap you on a 401.
Yeah. Shirk, he's feeling good at this point. Just his legs weren't really correlating with his brain. He just face plants. Ben Bruce doesn't even look back. He took that win, and Shirk, he walks across the line. His face is just track scraped, and that was the last time I saw Shirk. Good
last
guy,
time I
though.
saw Shirk.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I mean, dude, we've hit quite a bit. I reached out to some people on the team trying to get some stories, and we got a couple, but the unfortunate part was everyone was like, I don't know if we can talk about that on the podcast.
Bingo.
But I did get a shout out from Everett from West Fly. Or did you train with him a little
I
bit?
did not.
No.
But he,
Character right there.
I think he got there the year after I was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, they probably hear stories that have trickled down. So
Yes.
who even knows?
Lore.
What he knows? Yeah. Well, I have a horrible memory, so I don't remember many stories. If someone ever asks me, I'm like, I don't know. But then when certain things get brought up,
You're like, that sounds like something I did.
I'm like, all right.
So can we get you back in here at some point to cut our hair?
Oh, easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we had fun today. I feel like we just got to like surface level, but I feel like there's a lot more that we need
Start
to dive
talking
into.
philosophy, religion, and politics.
religion.
Yeah.
I mean, we still need to know about the cult.
Oh yeah, you don't.
Colts, there's a lot of runners that go into Colts.
I know. I know.
I guess humans go into Colts.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens.
I know.
I mean, running is
We
kind
are
of
a
a cult.
cult.
Cool. Well, good. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank
Really
you
appreciate
guys.
it.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. And
Definitely an episode 2.
yeah, Floby is coming.
It's coming. I better buy a new Floby that actually works. Mine's kind of busted. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it,
thanks.
brother.